Ever felt like your own thoughts were your worst enemy? That's what happens when anxiety takes hold. It's like a hurricane in your mind, paralyzing you, making life feel overwhelming. But here's the thing, how you react to those scary thoughts and feelings can either make anxiety stronger or weaken its grip on you. Let's dig into this. I'll break down 6 of my favorite strategies so that you can learn how to change the way that you think. Welcome back to session. If you're new to my channel, I'm Paige Pradko, an anxiety and OCD specialist, and on this channel, I share techniques to support people with anxiety disorders, health anxiety, and OCD. Let's begin breaking down 6 strategies to loosen anxiety's grip on your thoughts. Number 1. Think of your mind as a storyteller. Imagine that you're out with friends having a great time when suddenly your heart begins to race and your palms start sweating. Anxiety is striking and your mind is racing with scary thoughts. What if I faint? What if I lose control? What if I cause a scene and embarrass myself? It's like a horror movie playing in your mind. Now here's the key. These thoughts, as terrifying as they are, they're not facts. They're stories your mind creates, often blowing things out of proportion. So this habit of catastrophizing or imagining the worst case scenarios only makes your anxiety worse. But guess what? You can change this. Think of your mind like a storyteller, sometimes a really creative and overly dramatic one, and it cooks up these frightening stories when you feel a symptom or sensation. But just because your mind tells you something doesn't mean that it's real or that it's likely to happen. When you notice these scary thoughts creeping in, recognize them for what they are. Exaggerated stories your mind is creating, and you can challenge them by asking yourself, is this thought based on facts? Is there real evidence that this scary scenario is going to happen? The answer is usually no. By understanding that these catastrophic thoughts are just stories, they're not truths, you can see them for what they are, and then they lose their power over you. Number 2, stay grounded in facts. First, remember that anxiety and panic sensations are not your enemies. They're just your body's way of trying to protect you. These feelings are like your body's alarm system designed to keep you safe. But the alarm is almost always a false alarm. And when you sense that your heart racing or your palms sweating, and it's not a sign of an impending disaster or threat, remind yourself of the truth. You're not in danger. Anxiety and panic symptoms can be very uncomfortable, but they're not harmful or dangerous. Number 3, master cognitive diffusion techniques. Cognitive diffusion techniques are from ACT therapy and can be used like superpowers against catastrophic thoughts. Cognitive diffusion helps you to separate or detach from your thoughts and lessen that emotional weight. Now, these techniques, including identifying that you just had a scary thought, or using humor or exaggeration, even singing your thoughts or saying them out loud in a funny voice or an exaggerated foreign accent. For example, if you fear losing control, try imagining it in the most ridiculous way possible. Maybe they're going to put you on the evening news, block off all the streets, warn everyone to stay inside. Make it as ridiculous as you possibly can. Remember, these techniques might sound silly, but they're incredibly powerful. They can help you take control of your mind and help face anxious thoughts head on with a bit of humor. Number 4, embrace the just get it done approach. Now, we've all been there. We've had that heart racing, stomach churning feeling before a big presentation or a challenging task, like maybe an upcoming exposure. Anticipatory anxiety has a way of moving in our brains and just taking over. Now, if possible, try the just get it done approach. Instead of letting anxiety paralyze you, face it now. Do it as soon as you can. This technique is about jumping in and confronting your fears now. It's like ripping off that Band-Aid and just getting it done. Number 5, schedule a worry time. This idea is as straightforward as it sounds. Dedicate a specific amount of time in your day just for worrying, and then worry well, and maybe even journal your worries during that time. So this might sound odd. You might be thinking, why is Paige encouraging me to worry? But this is about satisfying your brain by making room and giving structure to your concerns. By, maybe reserving 20 minutes a day and just acknowledging your worries instead of letting them consume your entire day. I used to use this technique with my kids when they were little and had obsessive worries about something, and the technique has a great body of research to support its effectiveness. A scheduled worry time provides containment for your anxieties, and it prevents them from leaking into your every waking moment. Number 6, embracing courage through valued actions. Now, this last strategy is my favorite, and it's the one that I use to move through anxiety in my own life. Anxiety is a way of sneaking up and targeting the things that we care about the most: our freedom, our health, our independence, and our loved ones. This technique is all about embracing your core values and aligning your actions with them. So the technique comes from ACT therapy again. ACT is not just therapy, it's a philosophy for living. ACT revolves around the idea of identifying your core values, the fundamental beliefs that define what truly matters to you. These could be your relationships, your passions, your ambitions, whatever resonates within you. Once you've pinpointed your values, the next step is to take intentional actions that align with them, regardless whether the anxiety decides to show up or not. So it's about acknowledging your fears, but not allowing them to dictate your choices. For example, I have social anxiety, but I strongly value helping people with anxiety conditions. Therefore, despite my anxiety, I override my worries about what people might think of me or possibly embarrassing myself, and I put myself out there on social forums to support people with anxiety disorders. I firmly believe that we can do difficult things. We can push through our anxiety if it's something that we care about. By moving towards valued actions, you're not denying your anxiety, you're acknowledging it, you're understanding it, and then you intentionally are choosing to live a life that matters to you, whether anxiety shows up or not. You have the power to move through catastrophic thinking and rewrite your story. Here's to a future where anxiety takes a back seat while you're driving the bus. Until next time, I'll see you in session. Take care. Bye-bye.